Greetings, everyone. How y'all doing? Hope you're well. Hope you're well rested. Hope everything in the world is going your way. And so on. Yeah. So anyway, as the title implies, for those of you who are tuning in via Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, I'm going to read today. It's going to take us some time to get through this book. She has had to get this book, but it's a good one. My name is Cassandra Floyd. I'm also known as the Daughter of the Fates. And this, I am the founder of the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. Yeah. So anyway, it's kind of dragging ass today. I haven't slept since the day before yesterday. At all. 0%. I'm running on fumes, child. I'm running on fumes. Got things to make happen in the world, and we ain't gonna happen by themselves. And so, greetings, Carlotta. So I haven't slept since Friday. Is today Monday? Today Monday? Yeah, today's Monday. I haven't slept since Friday. Greetings, Letitia. Yes, Letitia, excuse me. Yeah, I haven't slept since Friday, so I'm feeling kind of like a zombie. That shit's catching up with me. I'm not in my 30s anymore, where I can pull all-nighters and multitask till the break of dawn and all that shit. So I haven't slept till Friday. More than likely after this live, I still got 3 more things on my long-ass list of shit to do. But I might have to table that shit, because after this reading tonight, I'm going to sleep. I'm tired. Like, when I say I literally have not slept since Friday, I mean I haven't slept since Friday. Yeah, I'm exhausted. So, anyway. Greetings, Kay. Yeah, so we're going to get into this book tonight. Just going to clean my nails real quick so when I'm holding the book up, I don't look like a heathen. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Anyway, I'm in a good mood. I'm just a tired person in a good mood. So don't get my vibe twisted. I'm in a good mood. I'm just sleepy. I've been making jewelry all night and filling out applications for money and all kinds of shit. I've been multitasking all over the place. All right. So for those of you who are joining for the first time, we are reading the book Pure Lust, Elemental Feminist Philosophy by Mary Daly. Pure Lust, Elemental Feminist Philosophy by Mary Daly. And at last, when we left off, I'm also going to say I'm not going to do I'm also going to say that what was I going to say? Hell if I know. Oh, I don't even remember shit. But at last we were, for those of you who have the book, we left off Hmm. Yeah, I'm going to go back a little bit because I think the last time I read in the book, I was kind of in zombie mode again. And so I'm going to go back back a page to page 83. And we were talking, the chapter that, or the section that we were reading, which we're in the second chapter now, the section was called The Papal Great Mother. And it's about this tendency, baby. You know, we always been told, especially as girl children, what everything that's wrong with females is because we got penis envy. And lo and behold, when the mother starts revealing herself, we find out that all along, since day one, that the whole reason for the emergence of the patriarchy in the first place was because they got vagina envy. They got motherfucking uterus envy. And so every opportunity, no matter what culture they come from, they are always looking for the opportunity to seize the mother's power through emulation. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Through emulation. You understand? Through imitation and emulation. So anyway, this section is called the Papal Great Mother, John Paul II. So I'm going to go down to the section where it begins talking about the Philippines. The papal position the papal position permits certain ancillary associations with women who endorse this queenly role. The Associated Press report of his 1981 visit to the Philippines included the following information. On the fourth day of his 6-day tour of the Philippines, the Pope shared the limelight with the powerful First Lady Imelda Marcos. Traveling ahead of the Pope in her own jet, Miss Marcos greeted John Paul at each stop, kissing his ring as he arrived at each airport. Condescending at each airport, the jet-age heavenly queen could tolerate pursuit by the powerful lady-in-waiting, provided that she arrived in time to kiss his papal ring. This widely publicized scenario displays the real position of powerful patriarchal women under archetypal phallic rule. It is consistent with the scenario that John Paul II expresses ardent devotion to the Christian Mother Mary. This is particularly in evidence in his 1983 visit to Poland. Shrewd observers noted the ambiguity involved in his appearing to champion freedom while urging Polish women into the same old role of raising sons for sacrifice. We are in chapter 2 on page 83 under the section called The Papal Great Mother, John Paul II. Greetings. Yes, somebody has the book. Okay. The next section is Forever Fetal, the Hostages and the Great Mother. The Great Mother can be sublimed by men to contain them as fetuses. In the 1980-81 spectacular soap opera of the American hostages in Iran, the heroes of the saga, like the astronaut heroes of the previous decade, were spectacularly fetal. This theme was at least subliminally perceived by many. The Boston Globe, for example, reported the reaction of a twin brother of one of the hostages upon his release. Quote, "I want to say thank you to the world. Man, what a relief. It's like you gave birth to 52. End quote. The subliminal message of the hostages' fetal identification could be absorbed by the millions whose psyches have been softened by pro-life propaganda. A letter published in the Worcester, Massachusetts Telegram under the caption "Former Hostages and the Unborn" illustrates this. Quote, to the editor, I just have to ask this question. How can we Americans feel so much joy at the saving of the precious lives of only 52 Americans, and at the same time condone and even encourage the slaughter of innocent unborn babies in the millions? I can't help but wonder, what if the mother of that valiant and brave young American, James Lopez, had decided she could not raise another child, that it was her right to do what she wanted with her body? Perhaps all those precious 52 hostages and the others that escaped would have died on that day. End quote. Obviously, one does not look for logic in the state of possession by archetypes. The archetypes do have an inherent illogic of their own, however, as they blend and reform themselves, reinforcing the vapor state. The saga of the fetal hostages was in fact a media-staged odyssey, reenacting the myth of separation and return. Separation from the womb of the good mother, America, containment in the womb of the terrible mother, Iran, and return to the good mother's womb. The melodrama portrayed a struggle between alleged forces of good and evil, between heaven and hell, and the message was duly and dully absorbed. As the Boston Globe reported, quote, so profound was the effect of it all that one father said it was like seeing his son emerge from hell and going into heaven. End quote. This theme is reiterated on television, elaborated with gory details of torture and beatings in Iran and total love in America. The force of the archetypes formed as good mother depends upon the recurrence of its image as terrible mother. Unable to live outside a womb, the hostages must reside either in the hellish or in the heavenly womb. The message is that liberation consists in return to the good womb from which the fetal hero has been separated. Oh, shit. Child, I'm awake now. God dang. Oh. Oh my God. True. This is the true redemption, which bonds together the chosen ones. Feline's department store expressed this theme in an ad in the Boston Globe. Quote, their bondage has been our bondage. Their freedom is now our freedom, and we rejoice in their return. End quote. It is unimportant to the saga whether or not women feel like identifying with the fetal heroes. Clearly, this is not the intended basic feminine role. Rather, women here at home are the multiple nurturing wombs welcoming the hostages who have escaped from the bad surrogate mother, comforting and serving and caring for them. The greater the archetypal power that is aggrandized by the patriarchal great mother in any of her forms, the more degrading and absolute is the servitude of the actual living women. Woo! Shit! Y'all didn't hear that? Oh my God! Damn! Listen. She said, the greater the archetypal power that is aggrandized by the patriarchal great mother in any of her forms, the more degrading and absolute is the servitude of actual living women. Wherever this alienating archetype reigns, the parasitic paradise of fetal, shit. God damn. Man. She said wherever this alienating archetype reigns, the parasitic paradise of fetalhood is secure. Under this rule, women's bodies, spirits, and energies are endlessly converted into placenta. Oh my God. Into living food for the fetal paternity. rejected to the Sado sublime, then women are reduced to the status of placental beings. Yeah, damn, you shit. Yo, I mean, she just stays swinging. God, Lord have mercy. I hope y'all taking notes. Damn. Discovering the arc image. The process of amnesia of unforgetting our elemental. Oh shit. Amnesia. The unforgetting of our elemental connections is a process. Chad, she said patriarchy has turned women into what? A parasitic paradise of fetalhood, where our bodies, spirits, and energies are endlessly converted into placenta, into living food for the fatal fetal fraternity. Yeah, that's why these niggas want some submissive wife. They are longing to have that parasitic relationship that they had with their mama, where she did everything for them. They had to do nothing for themselves but exist. You understand? That's why. Wait a minute. She said we are converted into body, spirits, and energy into placenta forever. Because that's the only good we serve. What did I say about the Matrix? I didn't miss the boat. The Matrix was not the computer generated dream world to pacify a bitch. No. It was the whole giant fields and crops of black uteruses, faceless beings transformed into energy centers for the production of cheap labor for the machine. You feel me? For the machine to be fed endlessly off the bodies of that which the mother reduced to a machine has continued to produce. Baby, that's this. Ooh, baby. All them black uteruses in that scene in the Matrix, all them black metallic metal faceless uteruses, black uteruses, as far as the eye can see, you see. Well, listen. The unforgetting of our elemental connections is a process thwarted by the blinding, suffocating archetypes. This unforgetting might well be called archaeology. Archaeology, as I have suggested in the introduction, is the science of first principles. It is about recalling our first questions, our native powers, the original lustrous, radiant sunrise of our being. As archaeologians, women, agar, past and futures, veiled by archetypes. Our method is intensely being, knowing in the present, our presence, as affected and effected by the past, unveils the past, since an effect resembles resembles and discloses its causes. Moreover, the present, as cause of the future, discloses the future, for an effect is known in part from understanding its causes. In order to reach our deep, empowering memories, archaeologians must not only recognize the archetypes of the Sado sublime, we must also exercise them. We must also exercise them. Our exercising of these distorted molds involves and requires discovering the arc image who is hidden behind the archetypes. The word arc image is radiant with hidden pristine powers. The meanings then must be unfolded. The definition of arc image, as given in the dictionary, is a great magician, wizard, or enchanter. It is derived from the Greek arche, which is akin to the archa, a prefix meaning principal, original, primary, plus magos, which is said to mean magus or wizard. A magus is an adept in occult, quote, an adept in the occult arts, a magician or sorcerer. This, of course, is the singular of magi, the three wise men of the Christian folklore. It is derived from the Indo-European root mag, M-A-G-H, meaning to be able to have power. The fact that the masculine form is used exclusively in these definitions suggests what sort of magic is involved in the masterminding of the archetypes. Oh shit. Which are the master's miming of the archa or the arche, the original. What did she say it meant? Arche. Where is it at? Means principal, original, primary, right? It suggests that there are indeed master male magicians. Y'all, listen, this whole white woman spitting game right now. Okay? In 1983, it suggests that there are indeed master male magicians, manufacturers, and manipulators of illusions who are behind the archetypes in the sense that they project these archetypes everywhere, with the magic lanterns of their media, Moreover, the masculine definition of arc image suggests that the trick of reversal has been played upon and within this word itself. For the trickster's power has consisted in the ability to steal and simulate original female powers and words. What were we just talking about? Having perceived and named the omnipresence of this trick of reversal in the state of society, hags and nags can name this archetrick, discovering that the true arc image behind the simulators and reversers, whom I shall call archi magi, is the great original witch who is in women and all elemental creatures. As an original act of exorcism, of dispelling the archi magi's bad magic, lusty women can reclaim the name of arc image, naming the fact that she is the witch within ourselves. She is a verb, and she is verbal, a namer, a speaker. The power within whom can name away, who can name away the archetypes that block the ways and words of meta being. Baby. Arc image is a metaphoric form of naming the one and the many. She is the power and powers of being within women and all biophilic creatures. She points toward meta-being in which all witches, hags, weirds participate, and in which we live, move, and have our being. She is active potency of hags, totally other than mere pure act, God. Her transexed counterfeit. She is shimmering substance, real presence that shines through appearances. Oh my God. Oh, God damn. She is the root of connectedness in the female and elemental race. In the mythic terms, arc image names the triple goddess. This image is not reducible to mathematical equations. Rather, she signifies unity and harmony in diversity, as suggested also by the images of the norms, the muses, the graces, and the fates. She spins the threads of life, the stamina uniting all moving, singing, spinster witches across time and space in cosmic concordance. The Magi, the three wise men from the East. Every Christmas season, Christians sing about and erect images of the Magi. Hey, okay. Yeah. I see you, Letitia. Yeah. Every Christmas season, Christians sing about and erect images of the Magi, understood to be three wise men from the East who, according to the Gospel of Matthew, paid homage to the infant Jesus. They are often popularly described as kings. These three wise men are described as following their star to the crib of the newborn Jesus. Christian preachers have interpreted the story to signify the universality of the kingdom of Jesus. There is often a token black and popular depictions and cliches. Indeed, this message seems to be conveyed in Christian music and art depicting the wise men as kneeling before the baby Jesus and offering him gifts. Among the popular descriptions of the three kings are some depicting them as throwing down their crowns before the infant. Such embellishments reinforce the popular image of the renunciation of power by these wise and powerful rulers before the baby God. Agnostic stargazers have reason to be fascinated by this story. One nagging question that often reoccurs is, quote, why are there three? Since we are by now familiar with the innumerable myths of the triple goddess, many of which originated in the Middle East, the thought that in a religion of reversals, the triple goddess would be presented disguised as three wise kings is indeed a nagging thought. Also interesting is the fact that the stars are closely associated with the goddess, as Cooper points out. Quote, stars are attributes of all queens of heaven, who are often star-crowned. The star is preeminently the star of Ishtar, or Venus, as morning and evening star, end quote. All of this suggests that if subliminal message in the story is that the goddess was brought to her knees before Jesus, the implications are indeed vast. If symbolically speaking, goddesses and no mere kings were throwing down their crowns, then star crowns were thrown down, indicating a surrender of the whole cosmos. Even if the more conservative image of these dignitaries as merely kneeling and bowing their crowned heads is retained, the symbolism is essentially the same. Moreover, in traditional symbolism, the quote, the radiate crown represents the energy and power contained in the head, which is regarded as the seat of the life of the soul, or the seat of the life soul. Oh. The message of surrender of mind and spirit to the incarnate boy God is obvious. Gnawing through the surface level of the three kings symbol to the subliminal suggestion of the triple goddess surrendering to patriarchal religion, nags note that the story thus unraveled is indeed an eye-opener. That is, it is an epiphany, in the sense of the sudden manifestation or perception of the essential nature or meaning of something, an intuitive grasp of reality through something usually simple and striking. The spectacle of the patriarchal symbolic conquest of female elemental divinity is perceptible here, as in other patriarchal myth, and it is simple and striking. Shrewd shrews will be interested in finding further clues, however. These are to be found, of course, in words. As we have seen, the word magi is derived from the Indo-European root maga, meaning to be able to have power. Clearly, the empowering act for women will be to stop kneeling, collect our star crowns in gold, and resume the journey. This is, of course, a journey of starlust. Ooh, child, child, child. This book is everything. You understand? The active potency of the arc image. Some clues concerning the active potency of the arc image, as this expressed itself in the Middle Ages, can be gleaned from Parcelius, Paraculus, Parvel, shit, Paracelsus, the 16th century alchemist, physician, philosopher, who is known to have learned a great deal from the witches, particularly in the realm of healing. As preparation for discussing his words, nag ourselves to recall that one definition of the verb heal is to restore to original purity or integrity. One definition of the verb to heal is to restore to original purity or integrity, to make spiritually whole, to restore from evil. The arc image. Yeah. The arc image. Let me bookmark this page. The arc image as healer then inspires pure lust for archaic spiritual wholeness, rescuing those who acknowledge her from the evil of possession by patriarchal scholarship as well as by archetypes. Thus inspired, searchers searchers for sources use such useful resources as Pericles, or whatever his name is, untwisting their twisted tails to find our own first principles. Paracelsus links magic, which he writes in the feminine form magica, with the magus, the masculine form, meaning sorcery. To decipher his tale of magic, then, weavers will begin to by unsnarling it. The feminine form for magic suggests that this is an instrument of the male sorcerer or magus. This is particularly perverse since he knew very well from his countless conversations with healers that most of the sorcerers' healers were women. That is, they were witches. Bearing this distortion in mind, it is possible to disclose some insights in the story. Paracelsus observed that when the saint is in the realm of God, the magus, read witch, is in the realm of nature. For the saint works through God. The magus works through nature. Deciphered, the essential point here is the distinction between the witches and the Christian saints. The witch exercises active potency in the realm of nature. Her powers are natural. One quality of this active potency is conveyed by Paracelsus when he explains that the magus brings celestial forces to earth. Gynecologically speaking, this means that insofar as we are witches, women are in harmony with the rhythms of the universe. As participating in the work of the archimage, with archimage, however you want to pronounce it, our task is the reestablishing of connections with natural rhythm that have been severed. A powerful means for reestablishing this harmony and for healing the fragmentation is suggested in the idea that through the magus, symbols and words acquire forces like those of arcana. One definition of the arcanum is an extract of the vital nature of something. a powerful natural agent, an elixir. The power of the archimage within the capacity to extract the vital nature, the elemental force in symbols and words, so that they regain their original meanings and act as powerful natural agents. Oh shit. I know. That they act, let's see, as powerful natural agents. The archimage within lusty women detects and communicates the elixir of words, that is, their quintessential transforming powers and life fostering force. The active potency of the archimage then is transformative power. This faculty, through which she brings celestial forces to earth, is the power. Listen. The active potency of the archimage then is the transformative power. This faculty through which she, quote, brings celestial forces to earth. What you said? Is the power of healing broken connections. One way through which One way through which this is communicated in the transmission of metaphoric words that transverse pass across the Father's archetypes, awakening the stifled archaea with word waves and wand waves. With word waves and wand waves. The words and wands of weird women also transverse those archetypes in the sense that they overturn and reverse them, reversing their reversals. For words are weapons, labors of archimagical Amazons, women participating in the biophilic powers of the archimage. Although, women participating in the biophilic powers of the archimage also transverse the obsolete sense of the term, which is alter or transform, as we change our lives in the process of dispelling archetypes. The most joyful aspect of the powers of archimagical word wands is conveyed by yet another meaning of the verb transverse, to turn or render into verse, to versify. In her essence and quintessence, the archimage is the muse within. As she muses, she reminds herself, discovering, creating, chanting new and ancient rhythms, intenses that transverse present, past, and future. Transversing unmasks memories of archaic, unsealing secrets by the magic of creation. Thus understood, the archimage is she who spirates. In Christian doctrine of the triune God, the Father generates the Son, while both together inspirate through their mutual love, the Holy Spirit. This Spirit is the bond between the Father and the Son, His Word. While women have been forcibly invited to participate in the generation of sons, we have been cut off from our powers of spiration and creation. As one woman has suggested, the concept of spiration provides a missing link for understanding connection between women and creation. Indeed, enslavement to patriarchal reproduction is a primary obstacle to spiration, which in its obsolete sense means the action of breathing as a creative or life-giving function of the deity. Confined by patriarchal motherhood, women are deprived of breathing space basic to the process of creation. The spiration of the archimage within lusty women who speak women's words heals broken connections between words and their sources, reconnecting speakers with their original words. Archimagical women spinning and spirating elemental connections between words and their sources, transverse the verbicide of the ages. Women breathing forth healing words comfort the agents of guidicide by remembering the archaic lore and lusty logic of racing women. Let's see. The Archimage. Many hags have studied the history and the significance of the European witch craze. In the court, many hags have studied the history and significance of the European witch craze in the course of which hundreds of thousands of women, some estimate that the numbers reached millions, were tortured and burned alive. Although many women were killed as witches before and after the 3 centuries of the witch craze, this period itself, late 15th to mid 18th century, was a time of heightened, frenzied gynecide. Chronological thinkers can see that it is no coincidence that this age coincides with the rise of Protestantism. For Protestantism is characterized by its erasure of Mary, that vestige of the goddess symbol that has been preserved in Christianity as a hook for the heathen masses. It would appear that the multitudes had not been ready before the 16th century for the total obliteration of female symbols of archaic participation in the powers of being. During the earlier centuries of Christendom, Mary as tamed goddess had been an essential tool for the taming and training and conversion of pagans. It has been noted that during the witch craze, particularly as it approached its most heinous heights, Protestants and Catholics killed women with relatively equal malice and success. On the symbolic level, however, their gynocidal tactics accompanying the physical massacre took different forms. Searchers might wonder why the Catholic Church did not follow the Protestant lead and eliminate Mary simultaneously with the witches. An obvious explanation would be that this symbol was still required by the conservative central trunk line of Christianity to maintain its stranglehold upon the masses. While this is true, there is more for Gnostic nags to think about. In Europe during the Middle Ages, Mary had been incredibly powerful as a symbol, as channel to the Archimage, who was not entirely concealed or concealed. Yes. Indeed, one could say that this image was powerful to an insufferable degree within a phallic society. Most of the major cathedrals were built to the Mother of God, the source who gave birth to God. No matter how lengthily the theologians protested or how subtle their droning distinctions and discussions, it is obvious that she outranked male images of divinity. Instead of functioning to conceal the background memory of the Archimage, she was at times translucent, transparent, functioning to disclose this archaic active potency in women and in nature. The study of theology, piety, art shows that indeed an Archimage was shining through this attempt at manipulation and concealment. To describe this phenomenon, I have invented the word arch-image to name the Mary image. The arch-image threatened to explode through the arch-image. And indeed, volcanic eruptions of consciousness memory in women did take place. In short, Mary malfunctioned as an archetype. The situation was intolerable to the mind holders. Oh, I think I'm going to stop here. Yeah, I'm fading. It's good, but I'm fading. So that's good. 45 minutes-ish. So for those who tuned in late, I am reading from the book Pure Lust, The Elemental Feminist Philosophy by Mary Daly. Pure Lust, Elemental Feminist Philosophy by Mary Daly. So I will pick up the read again tomorrow after I sleep for about 16 hours tonight. to make up for lost time, but my lids are getting heavy. Remember that episode of Bugs Bunny where for whatever reason he was staying up all night and he was so sleepy that he tried to pry his eyes open with toothpicks to keep his eyelids from shutting, and his eyes were so heavy they broke the toothpicks? That's my eyes right now. So I'm happy that you all tuned in. I know I cut it a few minutes short, but I gotta honor my eyelids. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a nap. And I will see you guys tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for the continued read of Pure Lust by Mary Daly. My name is Cassandra Floyd, also known as the Daughter of the Fates. I am the founder of the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence, and I will see you again tomorrow. Peace.